We're here at the ferry terminal at Cullen Bay, and behind us is the magnificent Arafura Pearl. It's heading off to Bathurst Island shortly. Owner and skipper is Gus Whitnell. So Gus, what's the length of the vessel and the width of the vessel?
It's 24 metres by 7.5 metres in beam. It's a purpose-built boat. You can see how high off the water it is.
Yeah.
It's designed to go through fairly heavy seas with no discomfort whatsoever. Arafura Pearl was purpose-built, built by Aluminium Marine in Brisbane, and the whole process was only 11 months. This is the beginning of construction of Arafura Pearl. The two hulls are upside down in the big shed. There you can see the plating going on, and when all the plating is completed on the bottom, the whole vessel is rolled over. This shows the upper cabin being built and the side decks being plated. This is a shot of one of the engines after installation. The engine is a V12 MTU diesel generating 840 brake horsepower. There are two of them, one in either hull. This is a shot of the fuel tank inside the hull. The fuel gives us a range of 3 return trips to the Tiwi Islands.
Soon we'll be approaching the Tiwi Islands. The first thing you'll notice is that they seem to be uninhabited. Stretching out before you are beautiful white sandy beaches, broken up by inlets and outcrops of mangrove forest. This is just how it would have looked when the first Europeans explored this coast over 200 years ago. The islands have been home to the local Tiwi people since time began. Traditionally, the people of the Tiwi Islands have lived with nature in harmony, achieving a sustainable balance. Terrantipi Tingara, Tiwi for sandy beach. Darwin's 50 kilometres that direction to the south. During the year, turtles nest all year round here on this beach, and crocodiles in abundance. Also, the fishing is magnificent, but no swimming here. The Tiwi Islands have an interesting history. We will explore the traditional creation story later, but first a little bit about some of the more recent history. There are many conflicting views in relation to early contact. The old people have handed down stories of contact with outsiders, Japanese pearlers, Macassan tree pangers, and Portuguese slave traders. Early contact with Macassans from Malaysia is well documented. In 1705, the Dutch landed at Karslake on Melville Island. In 1824, a British military settlement was established at Fort Dundas on Melville Island. This settlement was short-lived, with Tiwi warriors eventually forcing them out in 1829. In 1911, Father Giselle founded the Catholic Sacred Heart Mission at Niue on Bathurst Island. Religious instruction was their primary goal. The impact of the missionaries cannot be underestimated. From their very first contact until present day, the mission has influenced the culture in both positive and negative ways. They established an education system, addressed health issues. Today, Tiwi customs have intermixed with the doctrines, producing an amalgam of Aboriginal and Catholic signs, symbols and text. Tiwi is the main language spoken on Melville and Bathurst Islands. English is taught at schools as a second language. The Tiwi communicate principally in their own language. The Tiwi played a significant role during the Second World War due to the island's geographic location. Bathurst Island was the first site in Australia to be attacked when the Japanese struck. This is the very radio shack where on February 19, 1942, Father McGrath, with little success, tried to warn Darwin of the approaching Japanese bombers. The Tiwi were the first to capture Japanese enemies on Australian soil. Matthews Alanguru and Louis Mankara both played an important role in apprehending the enemy. Aboriginal patrols were formed and many Allied pilots were rescued. Sightings of enemy aircraft reported and Allied vessels guided through dangerous waters. Tiwi Islands are vast. Melville Island is Australia's largest island after Tasmania. The larger population centres are on the smaller Bathurst Island. Both islands are heavily forested. They provide a habitat for an enormous amount of wildlife: bandicoots, wallabies, snakes, huge amount of bird life. In the interior, pockets of monsoonal rainforest surround sparkling waterholes fed from freshwater springs. They are excellent croc-free swimming holes. The island has its own modern supermarket. Everything that you need to run a household's here, but the people still engage in their traditional hunting on the island. Rifles, plastic buckets and Toyotas have replaced spears, tunga bags and feet. The social aspects of hunting remains important. Hunting for the traditional food is still an important part of Tiwi life. The Tiwi people have a creation story handed down from the beginning of time. I'm with John Martin Mankura from Bathurst Island from the Tiwi Tour Company. John, this is a creation story.
Before there was nothing, and above there were three evil spirits ruled the place. They see anything move, they kill and eat. Under the earth there was the own blind woman by the name of Mundakala. One day she wanted to break under the surface. With her, she took her three children. As she crawled and crawled, she created waterways and creeks and lakes and billabong. And the island itself, above the island, Melbourne and Bathurst. And one day she wanted to create the light, to see the light, so she could go and look for a friend who could help. And there was a friend. She gave her a light, and that's where she created all the plants and food, all the vegetation she created, and she disappeared. Never been seen. Three of our children grew up. This is where they were discussing at the camp. The two sisters wanted to have a pickaninny, and the brother said, I'll go look for help. And brother would walk for days till he got to the island, Buchanan Island. This is a spirit man, and brother was calling to him for help. And he said, yeah, you have a bit, you look worried back there. He said, yeah, I have a problem back at the camp with my two sisters, and could you help me out? He said, okay, I can do that for you. Tonight I will probably go to your camp, and I will go into them tonight, and I will become my kids. Yeah, that's where the Tiwi peoples, that's when the Tiwi people became.
And that's the creation story. John, it's a fantastic story and you tell it so well. Thank you. Football plays a major role in the social and recreational fabric of Tiwi society. This preoccupation with football started when a bag of rags was given to some Tiwi on Bathurst Island in the 1930s.
Come on! Get rid of it!
By 1945, an area had been cleared, goalposts erected, and Australian rules football was becoming popular. Soon, organised games took place between Bathurst Island, Milakarpiti and Perlingimpi. During the 1990s, the Tiwi Island Football League was formed, and currently 7 Tiwi teams compete against each other over the wet season from October to March. Every March, the Tiwi Grand Final at Niue attracts an enthusiastic Tiwi crowd from all communities. The airport is packed with charter planes from Darwin and beyond.
On the north coast of Australia, by the Arafura Sea, there's my lovely home called Darwin, in the Northern Territory. She's a jewel of the city, and I hope jewel of Australia. She's the Arab Europe pearl. With the bright blue sea around her, like a maiden bright and fair, basking in the sunshine's splendor, no beauty can compare. She sits there strong and patient, defying anything that dare bring sorrow or destruction to her people living there. She's a multiracial beauty, she's an adolescent girl, she's a jewel of Australia, she's the Arab Europe pearl. Bright tropical surroundings, where soft ocean breezes blow, with smiling, friendly people, wherever you may go. The paradise you're seeking is here for you to see. In my lovely home called Darwin, by the Arab Sea. She's a multiracial beauty, she's an adolescent girl, she's a jewel of Australia, she's the Arab Europe pearl. So she's a multiracial beauty, she's an adolescent girl, she's